Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a book review and it is going to be on Matched by Condie. I finished this book, oh geez, a little while ago, and actually this is the second time I filmed it. The first time I filmed it, I filmed a book review with all three in the entire trilogy and it ended up being like 20 minutes long, and I left out a lot of things that I wanted to say because I was trying to fit everything in. So I decided to do individual reviews of all three books in the trilogy. So this is the first one, and this is Matched, first book of the Matched trilogy. And so if you guys have read this book and want to know my opinions, or if you want to read this book and you want to know my opinions, or if you just want to see the video, you know, just keep on watching. But I am going to do spoiler alerts in this one, so just kind of be aware of that. Okay, so this book kind of sets the stage for the entire trilogy of what society is actually like. It's a dystopian novel. The whole thing is like, you know, after the fall of everything, after what we know today. And basically in this one, it's a totalitarian type of government. Like the society rules everything, and it's called the Society. And it rules everything. A long time ago, before anyone in the book was alive, like they came up, the society formed, and they decided that they wanted to get rid of the excess of everything. So they narrowed everything down to like 100. Only 100 poems are left in the world, only 100 songs, 100 paintings, 100 history lessons, science lessons, 100 of everything that they ruled to be important in society. And that's the world that they live in. They monitor everything. Everything is data collection for them. That is the world that they live in, and there's three different classes of society. There are the citizens, who are like full members of society. They enjoy all the rights. They're just kind of normal. They're allowed to get married. They're allowed to have the best jobs. They get the best jobs, that kind of stuff. Then there's the aberrations, which are kind of like the middle. Even though they're viewed as much lower, they get the worst jobs in society. They are not allowed to get married. And then there's the anomalies, which are the bottom of the bottom. They live in like the border towns, the border of society. They live in places where there's crime, where there's you know, just generally like outside of the general society. Like it's kind of like they're in the outskirts. And you become an aberration or an anomaly by committing some type of crime or infraction against society. So that's kind of like the overview. Everything is governed, everything is controlled, people have no choice, you have no choice whatsoever, and that's where we are in the book. And so the entire book kind of like sets that stage. So like over the course of the entire book you learn about that, but that's just everything in a nutshell. It starts with Cassia, who's the main character in this book, and she's going to her matching ceremony, hence the name. The matching ceremony is when you're 17, the society takes all of your data, all of the 17-year-olds who are eligible to get married and want to get married, they take all of their data, put it into a big computer system, and then the computer selects your perfect match. So kind of like a soulmate based on data. So like, you know, your hobbies, your genetics, what would, you know, just your perfect person. And that's just the way it is, and they accept that. And so she's on her way to her matching ceremony, and she's praying that she gets matched with her best friend Xander. Well, surprise, surprise, she goes to her matching ceremony, and she does get matched with her best friend Xander, which is, of course, that never happens. It's totally out there, never ever happens. And I'm not revealing anything, like that's told like in the you know, the beginning of the book. And she gets matched with her best friend Xander, and so that's like, people are like taking notice because you never get matched with somebody you know. That's just impossible. She's over the moon, elated, and she goes home with his microcard to see his data, even though he already knows, or she already knows everything about him. And she turns on the microcard and she starts watching it, and all of a sudden somebody else's face flashes on the microcard. So she sees Xander, but then all of a sudden she sees somebody else, and his name is Kai. Again, this isn't a spoiler, this is like the first 30 pages of the book. She sees another face named Kai, and Kai is an aberration and is not allowed to be in the matching pool. But all of a sudden she has two matches. So she has two worlds that she never thought you know, it's like she's matched with Xander, so she's allowed to marry him, but then she's also matched with Kai, but he's not allowed to be married. But like, she never thought that she would ever be able to have a choice. You get matched and that's your soulmate and that's it. But now she has two, so she has a choice. She has the person that she's always wanted, but then she has this new person who she's never even thought about, but she knows him too. And so the whole book, that's the beginning, first 30 pages. The rest of the book is basically Cassia's inner struggle between the two. Like, she's living her life, she's going through her life, so she's going to school, going to work, and that's basically it. Like, the whole book is her going to school, going to work, going to visit her grandfather who died in the book. That's a spoiler, but not really a spoiler because that's part of society too. They kill you when you're 80. Whatever, you find that out. Anyways, so but now she's faced with this choice, and so the whole book is like her mundane little structured life, but then a lot of her inner dialogue about thinking about Kai. And then she has like these stolen moments with him where she goes hiking and they say 4 words to each other, and then you have 20 pages about her thinking about the 4 words that are said. And I will say this, I did not like this book, but it's important because I read the whole trilogy. The whole time I was reading this, I was like, I'm so bored. Like, literally, it seemed like it's the beginning of a love story. So it's, you know, it's like you're supposed to be falling in love with Kai, with Cassia, and it's about those stolen moments that they have together, and it's about like when you're starting to get to know someone and you're thinking about them all the time. It's the roller coaster of falling in love, but it's set in a backdrop of like her going to school and going to work and nothing happens. Like, I was so bored with this entire book. I was like, come on, I want something to happen. But I will say, you need this book if you're going to read the whole trilogy, because you need the character development that is in this book and the love development that's in this book, and also it sets up society. Overall, I really didn't like this book. I was really bored. It was a struggle for me to get through it, but it is important and it mattered so much in the rest of the series. And the rest of the trilogy, spoiler alert, was fantastic. So you need this book. If you have read this book and you were struggling to get through it and thought it was boring like I did, go and give the other ones a chance because they're infinitely better. This one, to me, I was just really bored, but like I said, it is needed, so I can't say that it was a bad book. You need to read this and you need to know the characters in order to enjoy the other two. So, and then I loved the first 30 pages because it's setting up this matching ceremony and setting up the conflict to come. And then I loved the last 30 pages because then it sets up the conflict that is the rest of the series, like this war that's going on, and it's phenomenal. And so you start to get little inklings in this that something's not right, but then at the very, very end you realize something's really not right, and then the other two are about a war. So it's amazing. So I highly recommend the entire series, and so you have to read this book, but I was really bored, and so I'm like, just know that this is really slow, but it's worth it to read the whole trilogy. So that is my entire review. Stay tuned for my review of Crossed and Reached in a later video, and thank you so much for watching, guys. Please comment, thumbs up the video if you liked it, and please subscribe. I do book reviews about once a week, so hopefully you like this. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys later. All right.